Wish I could just let the music continue and flow and Gehraiyaan. It's on loop for me right now. A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. आप सभी का तहे दिल से स्वागत है virtually and of course in the safety of your homes. I am Sachin Kumbar, your host for this lovely afternoon. और इस खास अवसर पर हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए आप सभी का बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. But I hope you are as excited as I am to be present here for the official trailer launch of the Amazon original movie Gehraiyaan. Jointly produced by Viacom 18 Studios in association with Javska Films, Gehraiyaan will have its world premiere on Amazon Prime Video on the 11th of February 2022. Well, I've already marked my calendar after just getting the glimpse of "Tu Marz Hai Dawa Hai." Well, it's definitely one of the most awaited films of the year and media के सारे दोस्त by now virtual world के procedure से आप वाकिफ हो फिर भी एक बार दोहरा देता हूं आप जहां कहीं भी हो please check if you've got good internet connection so that you don't drop out while we are in the गहराइयां of things. Also सभी मीडिया फ्रेंड्स के कई सारे सवाल होंगे आप यकीनन वो सवाल पूछ सकते हैं प्रोसेस बड़ा ही सिंपल है आप आपके सवाल चैट बॉक्स में भेज सकते हैं which is at the bottom of your screen. मेरी सिर्फ एक दरख्वास्त है कि प्लीज मेंशन आप ये सवाल किससे पूछना चाहते हैं फिर आपका नाम फिर आपके पब्लिकेशन का नाम एंड देन आपका सवाल दैट वेज हम आसानी से सवाल सही इंडिविजुअल तक पहुंचा सकते हैं. तो अब बिना और वक्त जाया किए मैं बुलाना चाहता हूं इस वर्चुअल मंच पे फिल्म के निर्माताओं में से एक और हम सभी के चहीते द डैशिंग विटी एंड वंडरफुल करण जौहर. Karan, very good afternoon and a rocking welcome to you.
Hi, good afternoon. First question, am I audible? Am I Amazon audible?
You're loud and clear. Absolutely. Let's dive, deep into the Gehraiyaan. I hand over the virtual stage to you.
Thank you. This is a first for me. Have been on various stages across the world and our fantastic country, but for me to do this on a virtual platform and virtually is really a first. So I'm just hoping that we can really get deep down, dirty and very gehra with what's going to come up. When I say dirty, I say that in fun in case anyone has any kind of extra connotations made to that statement. Gehraiyaan was titled literally a month and a half ago. I think when we dropped the first burst of that beautiful song is when finally Shakun Batra actually zeroed in on a title. It was the toughest film of my entire career to find a title for. We just couldn't find a title. Everybody gave really bad suggestions, me included. I think I gave some of the worst suggestions and they were just thumbed down by Deepika and Shakun and Sid and Ananaya and Gehraiyaan and the whole gang. It's only because the film is difficult to title because the film was a difficult film to make, to execute, to write by Shakun and his prolific team of fantastic writers, including Sumit and Aisha. And I think more than anything else, it's a film that you've not seen. And I say this with all earnestness because it's really a film about the power of love, lust, and longing by the millennials, by everyone in the Gen Z generation, and how they react to love, lust, and longing, and how it's about choices and the choices you can make. Sometimes does lust seek precedence over love? Sometimes does love take a bashing only for its pure innocence? And let me also just add that the trailer you're about to see is only scratching the surface, because deep within the film, there's much more than meets the trailer eye, because that is something you will only discover when you see the film and tune in onto Amazon Prime on the 11th of February. So like many trailers tend to give out the entire story, we're scratching the surface, expressing our syntax, and basically introducing you to the complex, twisted, vulnerable characters that our film has. We were very honored actually to have each and every member of the cast on board. But before that, and I introduce them later, we have some very strong partners. With Amazon, of course, we've had a great run with the thunderous success of Sher Shah last year. I think that one couldn't have asked for a better collaborative partner. So thank you to everyone at Amazon Prime for making it such a huge success. And we hope to kind of hit the second one out of the park as well, which we're very confident we will with Gehraiyaan. So I want to thank, of course, Ajit Andhare from Viacom, Dharma Productions, the entire team, Apurva Mehta, who's the wind beneath my wings and the wings of Dharma, and of course, Shakun Batra, this is his debut film as producer. So before I talk about him as director, I just want to say this is his first film as producer, and I can't feel more like a proud parent. And if you saw a picture of him and me, you would really think that I'm posing with Yash. Because he still has a like a dil to bacha hai ji quality in many ways, not just structurally. But I am so excited because I firmly believe that Kapoor and Sons is one of the finest films made by our company. And I'm always proud to say that it is our film. Wherever in the world I travel, I go, I'm like, we're a company that made Kapoor and Sons. And I feel I always get many more brownie points in that conversation when I say it. So needless to say, his next film was always exciting. And he had me at hello. He said, I'm making a film, and I was like, I'm going to do it. And I think that pretty much happened with Deepika as well. I still remember it's like Deepika, me, and Shakun were at like a dinner, and we were chatting about it. And she's like, "Look, I want to work with him. Where's the script?" And like I remember, Shakun flew down to London and narrated it to Deepika, and then she didn't get back for 2 days. And Shakun, being Shakun, was like, Shakun has low self-esteem issues. So he was like, is something a problem? Like, what the hell happened? So I'm like, let me call Deepika. So then I called Deepika, and she says, Karan, of course I'm doing it. I'm totally on. It's just that I was a bit overwhelmed with the script, and it took me a while for it to process. What do you mean? That doesn't mean I wasn't on, and subsequently, of course, Ananya Panday, our baby girl at Dharma Productions, we love you. And Siddhant Chaturvedi, also our baby boy, Dharma, and we've adopted you. Whether you're not ours or not, we love you. And Gehraiyaan, the youngest, biggest baby boy we have, who's all of 6 feet 4 inches, which all of you in the media can't see. But I want to tell you, he's 6 feet 4, and he's the only person who actually lied about his height to us, because he said he was 6'2" because he thought if he was too tall, he would lose the part. So he had an ulta problem. And slowly, with every passing meeting, we were told finally that Dhairya Kara is 6 feet 4. Well, we have a tall cast, that I have to tell you, which is always a tall order. But more than anything else, really, the strength, the energy, the syntax, and the sheer beauty of the twistedness comes from the filmmaker and writer, Shakun Batra. And I'm going to hand it over to him now. Shakun, thank you so much for doing what you do. Thank you so much for being who you are. And thank you for actually pulling the white and black out of the gray the way you had in Gehraiyaan. Over to you, Shakun.
Karan, first of all, you're just amazing. I want to begin by saying that I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you and Dharma. And movies that I want to make would not be possible without support and solid producing backbone. And you've been the greatest mentor I've ever had. I stepped into this city not knowing if I'll ever make films, and today I'm directing films. You've given me a chance to produce films, and it is just insane amount of gratitude, to be honest. So I begin by thanking you and Dharma and Apurva and everyone. And these collaborations have been amazing. They've given me a chance to believe in myself, believe in the stories that I want to tell. And Gehraiyaan is one of those. And you and I have spoken about stories that step outside of conventional romance from the very first time, I think, we started to talk about films. I remember when I did Ek Mein Ek Tu, right after that, I told you I wanted to do an infidelity film. And you were like, listen, I've been dying to do an infidelity film. It just took me longer to arrive here. And I think just like Kapoor and Sons, because I think I was unsure of all the families that I've been watching in Hindi movies. I think similarly, I think love over the years have been oversimplified in Hindi films. And you and I spoke about how it was time to really look at a more complex relationship, a relationship that steps outside of, as you said, black and white, a relationship that steps into the gray. So this was that attempt. And I'm so glad that we had, the best of best, collaborators in this film, including Deepika, who came on board very, very early. And it was such I was so scared when I was writing this film, to be able to make sure that I have actors who would support it wholeheartedly, who would see it for what it is, because we were very sure we wanted to observe a relationship without the lens of judgment. And I think Deepika from the word go saw it like that. And she was the first person we had on board. And once she and I started talking, I had the confidence with you, me, her, on the same page. I knew that we could go ahead and make the film that we wanted to make. And then obviously we had Sid, Ananaya, Gehraiyaan, and things just kept getting better. And then it turned out to be a COVID shoot, so we've had a roller coaster ride, as you know. We started in planning in a different city, then we moved to another city. We've had multiple schedules, multiple wraps. I think the joke is that we had so many wrap parties because we never meant, we kept wrapping a schedule and then waiting for the next one to begin. And yeah, we are finally here. I think I call it my COVID baby. So I think I'm finally delivering my COVID baby out to the world, and I hope it's going to be worth it. So keeping my fingers crossed, and so glad that we can finally put it out there. And for the title, yes, I think it took us the longest time because I think all the movies that have been made in this genre with Mahesh Bhatt sir has done a lot of these, and they always have this very different titles, which then start sounding like it is that kind of film. And I think eventually when we landed at this title, by the way, we could not have crew t-shirts for the longest time. We still don't have crew t-shirts because we only got the title a month ago. So I think finally we deliver crew t-shirts on the screening day.
Yeah, so I think Shakun, I think we're ready. I think we're ready to share this labor of love, lust, and longing to the world. So I think we're all set. And I think we should do it. I think this is the time before we speak to the prolific producers and to the wonderful ensemble cast. Let's show everyone the trailer, the first look, the trailer of Gehraiyaan, which will be with you on Amazon Prime from the 11th of February. Shall we do it?
Excited. Can't wait.
Let's do it. Let's share the trailer. And here it is.
Are we just messed up people?
हाँ, शायद.
Gehraiyaan, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, asks a very important and pivotal question at the end. Are we all just messed up people? And I think the answer of that mainly is yes, we are messed up enough to live the life that we do, but not so messed up that we can't watch it. And we will watch it because we can't wait to see it on the 11th of February at any kind of space next to you on Amazon Prime. Now, they say that a film really is held by the pillars that make it, in this case is a prolific panel of producers. I would actually like to introduce all our stakeholders. Manish Meghani. Manish, thank you so much from Amazon, and it's been a wonderful, wonderful association with you, and we can't wait to see all the magic unfold on your absolutely path-breaking platform. Ajit Andhare, who's a dear friend and a previous collaborator as well, and has been with the journey between Viacom and Dharma is a special one to me for various reasons. And more than anything else, Ajit has always been a friend first and then a business partner next. And of course, my brother in arms and the only person that I could have actually done what I do in the last 17 years, Apurva Mehta, the CEO of Dharma Productions, and Shakun Batra, who broke his producer virginity with Gehraiyaan and has now joined this wonderful bandwagon. Now, we'd just like to have everyone say a few special words about their experience on Gehraiyaan and what their expectations are. Manish, let's go with you first.
Hey, thank you, Karan. And first of all, I'd like to welcome everybody to the trailer launch today. It's been super, super thrilling and exciting. We've been waiting for this day for a long, long time, and so has everybody else. I think the first thing that I'd like to say is, we've watched the film and it's so exciting. I can't wait to watch it again. I think Shakun does a brilliant job of, masterfully weaving a tale that showcases the gray areas of modern relationships. And this is something that we haven't seen before. It's very special. And once again, we can't wait.
Fantastic, Manish. And again, we thank you for being such a strong partner and eventually such a huge platform that assures us of millions of viewers across the world. And we can't wait to see all that magic unfold. You and your team have been an absolute delight to work with, and we hope to do much more with you guys. Thank you very much, Manish.
Likewise, Karan. Thank you.
Thank you. Ajit, Of course, we've collaborated in the past before, but your thoughts on this very special film made by a very special filmmaker?
Look, first of all, thank you for the warm words, Karan. Hi, everyone. I think one of the pleasures that we are robbed of by doing this virtually is that this was one time when all the stakeholders would physically get to meet. However, that's changed with the challenges that we're all facing. But talking about the film, look, we at Viacom, and I personally always believe that when we say redefining Indian cinema, I think what largely we are trying to do is try and move away from a bit of simplicity or oversimplification, which even Shakun talked about, that we've seen in our cinema, because we've, of course, tried to please a very large nation. I think as we evolve and mature as filmmakers, we are now getting to explore, the shades of gray. And let me tell you, for a creative person, the most favorite color is always gray. And I think that's the reason I completely love the script, love the film. And I think the way Shakun has walked the tightrope and kept any kind of a judgmental lens away is, I think, something really worth experiencing and really remarkable, because this is not our strength as usual filmmakers. So I think any opportunity at Viacom that we get to step away from the mold, to do something different, to do something which is a little more, as I said, shaded rather than monochromatic, I always jump at it. And I am thankful to Karan that he sent this material, and I think all the actors have performed some very, very tough roles, and I'm sure you will only fully experience it when you see it. So yeah, happy to be here, and looking forward to how this all unfolds on Amazon.
Thank you, Ajit. Thank you very much. And thank you for always being there, most importantly. Shakun, I know you already spoke about it. We chatted in the beginning, but you have a quick thought about your foray into film production with Gehraiyaan.
Well, for me, I think those things, it's terminology. At the end of the day, what you really want to do is tell stories. And I've learned that from you. And I've seen you, you don't work in defined roles. You work because you love movies. And for me, it's literally taking from what I've seen you do, and I hope that I can, imbibe all the qualities I've seen you in terms of the way you nurture, the way you kind of support, and the way you help people with vision, and I think for me, stepping into the producing shoe is just kind of making sure that now we take more responsibility. We've learned a lot from you, and I think as you do bigger things and better things, we can take the smaller roles and we can make sure that you can go on and create bigger things, and your vision can keep going further and further. And thankfully, from aiding to directing and now to producing, it all just feels like one smooth journey. All those, and it doesn't feel like, so you don't feel like you're taking these big leaps. It just feels one gradual thing that's happened over time. And I think my aim, even as a producer, would be to make sure that we do what you've taught us to do: is support good storytelling, be there, make sure you push the boundaries, you make sure you are engaging with the audiences, and you're respecting the audience. So I'm very happy to do this, and more than anything, I'm just happy for us kind of taking these baby steps together. It's been amazing.
And Shakun, I love you, and I just hope that we make those baby steps into big steps, then large leaps, and we just cross many more boundaries together as a team, as a unit, because more than just the fact that I think that you're one of the most talented filmmakers in the country, I also believe that you're one of the loveliest people I know, and we're family, and I feel it's just the feeling of family. Every time I see you and hug you, and I feel like I'm hugging somebody of my own. And speaking of my own, I would like now to pass the virtual mic, to my boss, the only person who scares me. And every time I have to walk into his room with a budget, I feel he's going to throw something at me. None other than the CEO of Dharma Productions, Apurva Mehta. You have to unmute, Apurva.
Hi, everyone. Firstly, a big thank you for taking time to be here with us. I don't believe everything that Karan says. I'm very rarely successful in controlling the budgets, but I've now learned to live and become like him, which is unfortunate, accepting of over budgets. But on a more serious note, I think Gehraiyaan is a really, really special film for us. I think we had the opportunity of working again with Deepika, with Ananaya, with first time with Siddhant and Gehraiyaan. And of course, who else but the master storyteller Shakun Batra to make a compelling drama about love, relationships, choices, and consequences. I have to also say that I think the audiences are going to be really, really surprised because they've not seen any of these actors perform such multi-layered characters that we've done in Gehraiyaan, and credit for that to Shakun. And of course, Viacom, our partners who've been so supportive through this entire journey, because it was a tough film to make. We were shooting, as Shakun said, through the pandemic, and there were lots of ups and downs, but finally it's all here. And for you all to see, share, and love. And of course, last but definitely not the least, very, very happy that the film is premiering on Amazon Prime on the 11th. And Amazon is home for us. So, I mean, we couldn't have found a better place for this film to come. And we look forward to everyone watching it. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Purva. Of course, the film is all about its lead actors projecting these complex layered parts. And casting the film was actually all Shakun's instinct on each and every actor, I have to say. He didn't have any second guesses on anyone. I'm going to start with Gehraiyaan because he was the newest member for all of us. Like, we hadn't seen much till I was then told that Gehraiyaan actually had done a part in Uri, and he was also projecting the role of Ravi Shastri in '83, which hadn't released at the time that we were casting Gehraiyaan. And we realized that he had done little work but very strong work, and with very selective, talented people. We just didn't know that he was as tall as he was till he walked into the room. Gehraiyaan, this is in many ways, and with absolutely not taking away from the lovely work you've done in the other films, this feels like a launch somehow. Does that feel like that to you as well? And what are your thoughts today?
Thank you, Karan. It absolutely does. It's been a gratifying journey, and a journey where I've learned a lot, and it's more than a film for me, because I've made such strong bonds. I've found friends for life, which will go beyond this film, and found mentors in you. So I couldn't have asked for more. And, like you said, it's the first time I'm seeing in a lead part where there's a lot of responsibility on you. But at the same time, when you have people like Shakun and you around, and Deepika, who just make you feel comfortable immediately, so it just takes away all the pressure. And all of us just curated such an environment for me to just thrive. And I've loved every minute of this experience. So thank you all, and I hope I've done some justice to my part as well.
Well, Gehraiyaan, your character is very close to my heart because you're called Karan. So in the film, I just kept feeling that the film was calling out to me every time I see it. But Gehraiyaan, you've done an incredible job, and upwards and onwards from here. And I'm sure that when the film is viewed by millions of people, they will know that there is a solid talent called Gehraiyaan Karwa, and we're all rooting for you. So thank you, Gehraiyaan, for giving your infectious energy to us on this film. And now to our gorgeous baby at Dharma Productions, Ananaya Panday. I still remember the day I called her and told her that, hey, this is a film. It's being directed by Shakun Batra. And she just took a pause and she says, are you offering me the film, or do I have to audition? So I said, no, I think you just have to meet Shakun Batra first. Because she was like, oh my God. So it was like, Ananaya, I've literally, I shouldn't say this really, but I have seen her since she was a day old. And I'm, you know what? I'm not going to be apologetic about it, because I'm proud to see her grow from strength to strength, from a girl to a lovely lady now, and to now such a potential promising actor. And that's for everyone else to discover when they see it. I shouldn't say it. As they say that I shouldn't blow your trumpet, let the audience blow it for you. But what I do need to say is that you bring a certain warmth and a certain sincerity always when you come to shoot, and any filmmaker that's worked with you will say that. Ananaya Panday, the stage is all yours. We're so happy to have you on board with us.
Oh my God, I feel like crying, but it's too soon to start crying, right?
Yeah.
To relax. Okay. Hello, everyone. I really hope you guys enjoyed the trailer. This film, I honestly had a similar experience to Deepika, because I remember when Shakun and Aisha narrated the film to me, I actually was like, can I just go to the bathroom? And I didn't come out for like 20 minutes. And I think they got scared that I've like fainted in the bathroom or something. But I was like, in shock that this project was even going to come to me. I was just so happy to be a part of a film like this. Shakun was literally on my bucket list, and I was just in shock that he wanted to work with me. So it's been my biggest blessing to be a part of this film, and just the relationships that we've made on this film. We were all in Goa together for 2 months. We were sent away, and it was probably the best thing that happened to us because we actually became so close. Just every single person involved with this film, it's actually like family to us. And every moment on this film has just been magical. I feel like I've not just changed as an actor, but as a person. And it's been amazing. And the fact that it's coming on Amazon now, I know it's going to reach the right audience, and a very large audience as well. And I'm just really grateful to you, Karan, and to Apurva, and Gehraiyaan, Deepika, Sid, and the cast and crew. It's just the biggest blessing for me.
Great, Ananya, we're so happy to have you on board, and we can't wait for everyone to see the film and see you in it. And now, from MC Sher to being a tiger on the prowl, or at least that's what the trailer indicates, Siddhant Chaturvedi really making his foot forward in the film fraternity with good, strong leaps, working with good filmmakers, some exciting projects coming up. Siddhant, there's truly seems to be so much promise attached to you, and you as an actor, you as an artist, and you as a personality in the movies. What was I remember being there when you heard the narration with Shakun,
Yeah.
and I remember your reaction, but maybe you should share that with everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for having me here, for having me in this film. Everybody else has spoken everything almost, and I just feel, it's a very emotional moment for all of us. And finally the day is here. It's been 2 years since we were on this, and I remember the first time I met Shakun at your place, and when he narrated the script, and I was blown away. I mean, I said yes right there. There were no second thoughts about it. The only thing was I didn't know how I was going to do it. I could understand the world, I could understand the vision, but I didn't know, like, because we hadn't seen any thing like this. There was no reference point for this, and there was nothing like this which I had ever seen. No reference point for the characters, and I think that's when I knew I had to do it, because it really excites me to choose things which are very, very scary. And this was one of them, and it just became a wonderful journey. And I didn't realize that it was actually that tough, because I think it was Shakun who made us feel comfortable. It was my co-actors, Deepika, Ananya, Gehraiyaan, all of them. We all became like a family. We all bonded so well. And over a period of 2 years, I think we've been just going back and forth and trying to kind of hit the right thing, hit the right mark. And there were like a lot of readings. I mean, initially it was supposed to be around around 4 to 5 months, but then because of the pandemic, we got more prep time. We got more time with each other, Zoom calls and readings, and WhatsApp jokes, and Ananya's gifs and stickers, and Shakun's, so it just became so light. And we were so, it was so intense throughout that, you were really enjoying it, off camera, because we were really like kind of cracking jokes. And I mean, it might look very intense and very serious, but we had a great time. I think, one of the best times I've had on any film set. And I would like to thank Shakun and obviously Dharma, Karan, you and Apurva, for making this journey so memorable. And this is the moment, and I'm very, very excited, and goosebumps.
Sid, we're absolutely thrilled to have you on board with Gehraiyaan, and we can't wait to do much more work with you. And I know that this has been the film has been tough, because from workshops to readings to multiple readings, and then to what I hear, multiple takes. Because Shakun's never happy. The first day I was on the first day of shoot of the film, I remember all Deepika was to do was to pick up like some garbage and put it from point A to B. And I kept wondering why is this happening like so many times, because I don't think Deepika was doing anything different at all. But clearly Shakun was seeing some difference, and that brings me to, of course, Deepika. And before I, open the stage to you, Deepika, I want to say that this is what Shakun has said behind your back, and things that are said behind someone's back are always true. He has said Deepika has been a trooper. She has been a trooper through this film. She's been like my strength. She has been like the easiest, even though it was such a complex part. It needed so much of her investment in terms of time and emotion and energy. And he says, like, she was just there, rock solid from point A till execution. She says, like, she tapped into so much of herself for the film, which is always tough for an artist to do. So, Deepika, thank you. And on behalf of Shakun, we want to thank you, because not only do you kind of take charge and helm the cast of this film, but also you gave us that time, the energy, and more than anything else, your love, which is what a film thrives on. Deepika, the stage is all yours.
Well, thank you, Karan, and thank you everyone for joining this afternoon. I really can't sort of fathom that we're actually here finally, and that this trailer's out and now the world's going to see it, because it's truly been an incredible journey. Like you mentioned, Karan, I remember Shakun messaging me and saying, I have this film, and I was in London at the time shooting for 83, and he came down. Shakun, like, most actors, is most certainly has been on my list. And in fact, my husband's the one who keeps saying, Shakun and you would make an amazing film together. Shakun and you would make an amazing film together. And but I think my relationship with him goes way back to 2015, when we were attending an award function. We were abroad, and through colleagues, we were introduced to each other, and we hit it off instantly. And I knew, just at that very moment, I knew that irrespective of whether we'd make a film or not, and I knew we would, deep down inside my gut, I knew we'd end up making a movie together, and I knew it's not something I had to pursue. I feel like these sort of things happen when they're supposed to happen. But I just remember saying, I've made a friend for life. And so when he came to London to narrate this to me, it didn't feel like a director coming and narrating a story to me and trying to pitch an idea. It was really a friend coming over and saying, look, I have this idea, and do you are you invested in this? And I can say that I think the script has evolved a lot from where it was to the film that we've actually made. But that's just his process. But I think that's also come from the kind of relationship that he and I share, which is that of honesty and a lot of trust. And we've promised each other that that's what it's going to be, not just in our professional lives, but even in our personal capacity, that whatever said and done, we're always going to be honest with each other, whether we like it or not. And I think that's also the reason we were able to make such a brave movie, because he had trust in me and I had faith in him. And not for a second did I ever think that, that his sensibility, I don't think I ever doubted or second guessed his sensibility. And I think that's also why we've all kind of just given so much of ourselves to this film, just emotionally, mentally, physically. It comes from a place of trust. And I think along the way also made a lot of friends. Ananya, Sid, and Gehraiyaan, I think we've truly had the best time anyone can possibly have on a film set. And like Gehraiyaan for me is like an older brother, someone that I know if I ever have any sort of issue, even in the middle of the night, I can call him up, speak to him, and he'll always be there. Ananya for me is, and the world knows this, is like my baby sister. She's younger than my sister, and but so wise and so talented. Sid, again, I think for me to see him very, very closely from Gully Boy, and to see him from that journey, and to see the kind of work that he put in on this movie, to see that evolution. Again, I think someone that I'm extremely fond of. And, really, I think we've made friends for life. And more importantly, I think to see all of their journeys, we spent a lot of time together doing workshops, which I think was the best thing we could have done for this film and for our characters. But along the way, I think to see everyone come in nervous, unsure about themselves, underconfident, to actually seeing everyone bloom and grow and blossom, and then put that energy into their characters, and not just professionally, but also in a personal capacity, to see how everyone's grown over the last 2 years, I think really has been my biggest takeaway from this film.
Well, thank you, Deepika. I think that the sense that one gets when one hears everybody is that this was really like one tight, close-knit group of friends that were eventually making a film. I think all the workshops and I think the time that was put into the prep and the readings, etc., just made a unit. So what you're going to see is people really who care about each other go through really turbulent beats on cinema. And like I said, on celluloid, like I said, that trailer really genuinely scratches the surface, because there's a lot more than meets the eye. At the face of it, you might think this is a film about an infidelity-based relationship, but it's not just that. There's so much more. It's talking about so much more. Choices and consequences, but so much more than even that. But thank you to everyone. I think next we have a virtual photo op, and I think I'm going to now pass it on to our wonderful MC to do the honors for the latter part of this conference.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Karan, for seamlessly helping us sail through the depth of things of Gehraiyaan. And thank you to the cast and the makers for giving us insights about Gehraiyaan and the trailer. We loved it. Congratulations, all the best. And I would say, oof, ye Gehraiyaan. The last line where we said, are we all messed up people? Kinda yes. Gehraiyaan showcasing the tale of modern relationships. Dark, intense, gripping, a beautiful display of feelings and emotions. And wishing the entire team all the best as Gehraiyaan drops on Amazon Prime Video on the 11th of February 2022. And I have to say, ab is film ka intezar aur lamba lag raha hai. Well, from friends from the media, I'm sure you have a lot of questions about Gehraiyaan. मैंने पहले भी कहा था, दोहराता हूँ कि आप आपके सवाल chat box पर लिख भेज सकते हैं. And Q&A से पहले, since we have all of us here, इस लम्हे को और यादगार बनाते हैं एक तस्वीर के साथ. So I request all of you to please turn on your cameras. Request all of you to please join us back onto this virtual space. Karan, Shakun, Manish, Apurv, Ajit, Dhairya, Ananya, Siddhant, and Deepika. Request all of you bring in the best smile. It's that moment as you excited. Dhairya also said super duper excited, and here is the moment. Well, these are the people behind Gehraiyaan, jo marz hain aur dawa bhi. Wishing all of you once again all the best for Gehraiyaan that drops on Amazon Prime Video on 11th of February 2022. Well, with that, we open the floor for the media Q&A. All the friends have sent, a couple of people have sent in their questions. If you have more questions, you can definitely write in the chat box. And with your permission, all of you, warm welcome to you. And sabse pehla sawal hai, as Karan said, Apurva calls her behind her back, the trooper, the strength. The questions coming in for Deepika. And Deepika, the questions coming from Mimansa from Indian Express. कहा जा रहा है कि ये आपके सबसे उम्दा परफॉर्मेंस में से एक है. हम इस फिल्म और आपके किरदार से क्या उम्मीद कर सकते हैं?
Oh God. Well, मैं जरूर ये कह सकती हूँ कि you've never seen me play a character like this. I don't think you've seen any Indian actor play a character like this. And I can also confidently say that India's never seen a film like this. So I think it's many firsts, just the kind of, and Shakun's great at this. This is really his forte, which is love, relationships. And when I say relationships, I don't mean just boyfriend-girlfriend relationships. It could be brother and sister, it could be two sisters, it could be friends. But I think he's really the best when it comes to those dynamics and really saying it as it is, and really observing, being the observer, and just watching without a lens of judgment, just watching different kinds of people. This, and this world is really full of different kinds of people and different kinds of relationships. And he really is the best person to bring that out on screen. So whether it's the film or whether it's the characters, not just mine, but everyone's, we certainly haven't seen something like this. So that's definitely a first. And I think, like Sid said, there's really no reference point in that sense. So one has to really dig deep, one, and two, just trust what the director, wants from you or is trying to extract from you.
Thank you so much, Deepika. And I'm going to take this opportunity to say that, you always see you in strong characters. This one looks even stronger and impactful. Wishing you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next question coming in for Siddhant. Siddhant, first of all, a virtual chappi to you.
How are you, Sachin?
Fantastic. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Long time.
Very long time. Very long time. And love the way you grew. So congratulations to you.
Thank you so much, bro.
Now the question's coming in from Vinamra from Midday. And the question...
Vinamra, okay.
From Inside Edge to Bunty or Bubbly, you've played fairly diverse roles so far. What sets them apart?
I think what sets them apart is Zen apart. Okay. Well, I think I'm relatively new and I haven't played many characters yet. I mean, just 3 or 4. I mean, I'm still exploring. I'm still discovering, different characters and different kind of genres. And when this happened, Gehraiyaan, when I heard the story, when I heard Shakun narrate it, and when he was talking about Zen, it was so layered, it was so nuanced, it was so microscopic, and I was like, this is different because coming from a whole different world, the style of filmmaking is different. So I think that, credit goes to Shakun, it's his vision, and it's a different filmmaker, it's a different genre of film. And it's a different character in a way where I won't be spoiling anything for you guys, but it's quite different from what I've done, whatever I've done till date. Because if you've seen the trailer, I mean, it's really quite deep and quite layered. So yeah, and also I'm not a rapper and I'm not bowling and I'm not conning anybody. I'm just romancing 2 beautiful women. So I think that's different and that sells. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Siddhant. And Hamisha vinamrata se jawab dete hain aap. And you said you're relatively new, but you made a mark and you're here to stay. Wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Siddhant. Next question is coming in for Shakun, and the question is from Shweta from Hindustan Times. Hi, Shakun. The question is, infidelity is a topic that has been explored before in movies. What is different about Gehraiyaan? I request you to unmute yourself, please. Request you to unmute, please.
There you go. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, lovely. So, I, like everybody else, grew up on the regular diet of Bollywood romance. And, of course, I've seen the infidelity movies, like obviously there's Kank, there's Kabhi Kabhi. But I think, unlike those films, what always used to happen is we used to talk about finding a soulmate and then call it infidelity. So the cheating was always because you found a soulmate. But I don't think stories or love or relationships happen like that. So for this one, it's not infidelity under the garb of finding the one, finding the true love. I think we are just trying to understand and explore relationship that step outside the conventional boundaries, not necessarily having found the soulmate or the one. And because I think in today's time, how relationships unravel today, it's people are looking at love differently. It's not always about finding the one. It's about what you feel in the moment. And what I also feel is, this is outside of the film, but the reason that, affairs don't happen because you're looking for the one. Affairs happen because you're trying to find yourself. And sometimes you meet somebody who helps you find yourself. So I think this film takes that notion forward. And I'm really curious to see how people react to it. But yes, so I would say that's the basic separation from what I was hoping to do or achieve than what has been done before.
It's definitely given us a glimpse of different layers. So wishing you all the best. We look forward to it. Thank you. Next question is coming in for Ananya. Hi, Ananya. And it's by Shravan from Miss Malini. I think in part of the virtual space, we'll try and reconnect with Ananya. She's not here with us right now. When she reconnects, we'll get her back. She'll get into the Gehraiyaan of her internet connection and come back to us, join us back. The next question is for Dhairya. Hi, Dhairya.
Hi, how are you?
Fantastic. Wishing you all the best. The trailer looks powerful.
Thank you, Sachin.
The question's coming in from Aditi from Times of India, and the question is, आपने उरी और 83 जैसी फिल्मों में ensemble cast के साथ पहले काम किया है और अब आप दीपिका सिद्धांत और अनन्या के साथ काम कर रहे हैं, कैसा रहा अब तक का सफर?
Aditi, thank you for the question. Ab tak ka safar, my journey has been very exciting. It's been filled with so much gratitude. Been so much learning, growth, and मेरे करियर की शुरुआत में मेरे को कुछ ऐसी फिल्मों का पार्ट होने का मौका मिला है जो कि एक न्यू कमर सिर्फ ड्रीम ही कर सकता है. सो इट्स बिन लाइक अ ड्रीम कम ट्रू फॉर मी बिकॉज हर जो भी मैंने फिल्मों का हिस्सा हुआ हूँ अभी तक वो खुद अपने में स्पेशल फिल्म्स हैं और जो भी कलाकार उन फिल्म्स के साथ जुड़े हुए हैं वो सब अपने करियर में उन्होंने इतना नाम और कमाया है और वो सब से इतने रिस्पेक्टेड हैं, लव्ड हैं और वो फिल्में भी यूनानिमसली सबने बहुत पसंद करी है. सो गहराइयाँ जैसे करण ने पहले बोला कि इट्स द फर्स्ट टाइम यू विल सी मी इन अ लीड पार्ट and there's a responsibility and that's exactly what you're looking for when you're progressing in your career as well. And it's just the people around me and in the film who made it so special for me. Everybody, all my co-actors, Deepika, Ananya, Siddhant, my director Shakun, my producers, and now collaborating with Amazon. So I couldn't have asked for more. And I hope this is just the beginning and long may it continue.
It definitely is. You're looking very impressive in the trailer. All the best, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, Ananya is back. I'm guessing I'm just going to reconfirm that if Ananya is back.
Hi. Yes. Can you hear me? Hi. Sorry.
No
my
problem.
Wi-Fi.
No problem at all. Good to see you from the actual stage dancing with you at the stylish and then get on the virtual space. Ananya, the question is coming in from Shravan from Miss Malini, and the question is: when you offered the film, what was your reaction when you learned Shakun was directing it and working with such a fine director at this early on?
So as I said, for me, honestly, Shakun was a dream director. He was on my bucket list, and when I got to go home that day and put a little tick mark next to his name, it was like it really made me super emotional. But honestly, actually, my first meeting with Shakun was really funny because of the kind of films he makes. I was such a big fan of Kapoor and Sons that I thought, when I meet him, I have to like watch all these like foreign cinema films and come. So I watched all these like Swedish films and Polish films, and I went to meet him, and then I met him, and he was just like this super chilled out guy. So I was like, okay, this is like my kind of guy. So it was actually really chill meeting him. And I think we've become really, really good friends. And also when I say that he is completely an actor's director, I mean it. Because the amount, and I'm sure that Deepika, Sid and Gehraiyaan will vouch for this as well, but the amount of space he gives the actors, those just small things like, okay, I won't call action until you're ready. We'll go whenever you're ready. And just the importance of preparations, like he talks you through it, and then he makes you believe that you've actually thought of this whole thing when actually he was kind of seeding it into your head. So it's a very interesting process with him, and it's changed me as a person, not just as an actor. And my reaction, as I said, I hid in the bathroom because I was in complete shock that they were even thinking about me for this role. And it's really been a dream come true. And I actually think that we took so long to come up with the title of this film because it's really hard to just put one term to this film, because it's actually it's an experience. It's not, you can't just, put it in one word. Yeah.
Homework, all that hard work is getting paid off. Wishing you all the best. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next question is coming in for Karan. Karan, the question is from Bohini from News 18. You've always shown a very different side of romance in your movies, and We've loved it. Even something like Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna, which was ahead of its time. Gehraiyaan portrays a much grayer side. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I've heard this term really. Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna is ahead of its time. I don't think that even today, if it released, it would not meet with judgment, because I think that we are inherently a very judgmental audience. And that's why Gehraiyaan is so special, because it's asking you to break just that. It's asking you to break that judgment stereotype. It's asking you to actually dwell into the character's mindset, understand where they're coming from, and not pass a judgment, because we tend too soon to just say things. We want to watch perfect people unravel on screen, but none of us are perfect. We all have our shades of gray, and we in fact walk the path of gray much more than we walk the path of black or white. We live in the gray, we operate in the gray, and gray is what all of us are about. If you really dwell deep into yourself, you will understand that gray is just everyone's emotional color. So I believe that, yes, what Shakun has done has brought in another facet to an emotional film that could look like it's a film about infidelity. But there's also a thrill in that experience of watching it. What people may not capture or see in the trailer, there's an element of thrill. Like, you're on your feet in the second half of the film. Like, you're really feeling as anxious as the characters. You're going with their beats. So he's actually tipped into a new kind of a genre, which I don't think Hindi cinema has experienced. It's what is called in the world as domestic noir, that I never understood even till now what that means. But all I can say is that you'll watch an emotional film, but you'll also maybe at the edge of your seat. And that is a combination that is rare. Like, it's never happened. Like, for me, I can't categorize this as a film. Like I can't call it comedy, drama, relationship drama, dramedy. It's nothing. It's an experience, like Ananaya said. And I'm just really proud that we produced it. Because, I mean, this doesn't only push the envelope. It also tears it, and we need to do a lot more of that.
We love all your presentations. Thank you. Thank you for always pushing the boundaries. Thank you. Well, moving next. Next question is coming in for Siddhant, and the question is from Raj from ABP News. सिद्धांत राज says, आपको पानी से डर लगता है, कैसे शूटिंग के दौरान आप अपने उस डर को हटा पाएं?
नहीं, बहुत डराया है सबने मिलके मुझे, और फिल्म के एंड तक डराते रहे वो लोग, और डरते डरते मैंने गहराइयों को मैं ना पाया हूँ.
That's not true.
No, you guys were really like, you pushing us to, like, there was a day in the morning when we we wrapped
That's
up.
not true. We took a lot of care of you, Siri.
No, you didn't. I mean, I didn't want to go into the water. We were in Goa. We wrapped up, and we went to the beach, and everybody, Shakun and Gehraiyaan, they all like just, sab log pani mein se kood gaye, and I was just standing like, I don't want to, and Deepika was just like pulling me, no, you have to come inside. So I mean, ultimately, I had to just go step in and, head of it. But yeah, it's scary. It's still scary. I mean, yeah, they were like sweet, but yeah.
Were we sweet or did we scare you? Make up your mind.
I mean, you guys were sweet enough not to drown me, so I think that. Well.
When you have somebody like Deepika, lifeguard with you, you can't be saying no to get into that ocean.
Yeah.
We were all holding his hand. We were like, Sid, we'll do this together. But like, we've done everything together in this movie, right? From having breakfast together to winding up, like having dinners together. We've done everything together. So going in the water without one of our main people was not okay. So we were like, we'll hold your hand if we have to, but we have to do this together. We did it eventually. He learned how to surf and all.
The tail end of the story that Deepika is not sharing is this was 5 a.m. in the morning, and it was 4 of us on the beach. There was literally nobody on the beach because COVID, it was still just coming out of COVID. And then we were stepping out from the sea at 5:30, and there was this old uncle jogging on the beach who could not believe he was seeing Deepika Padukone come out of the water at 5:30. And all I remember is that uncle was trying to find his phone so he could take a picture to go prove to his family that he saw Deepika Padukone come out of the water. And I felt so bad. I felt so bad for him because he would never be able to go. I mean, uncle, if you're watching this, you can show this to your family, and we all agree that you saw her at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So thank you, Raj. I hope you got your answer, and thank you, everyone. And I hope I was that uncle. But moving on to the next questions coming in for Manish, and the questions coming from Samina from Bombay Times. Manish, the question is about the title. Quite deep. What made you pick Gehraiyaan as a title?
Hi, Samina, and hello, everyone else. I think there are a couple of things. And the first one is, we watched the film, and I can tell you that it is a unique and a contemporary gaze on modern relationships. This is not just another story about romance or, difficult relationships, but I believe that it's a coming of age drama. And I know Karan doesn't want to call it that, but again, it's a coming of age story, I would say, about how real and how honest and how intense relationships can get today. We don't speak often about them in the way they exist in real life. They seem often very sugar-coated, but here Shakun is trying to peel off all those layers. And again, that's been, I think, our first reason. There are a couple of more. At PV, we've been, and again, at Prime Video, we've been, showcasing both local and international content across languages, genres, and varied kind of stories. But, this one has been very, very special for us. We've brought the theater home, for the last 2 years in, these unprecedented times. And we've launched over 50 films directly on the service. And we had to make this one of those in the lineup. I can tell you that this remains to be special. Again, because this is definitely a very fresh and a unique take on relationships and modern relationships. And I can tell you that the narrative is very, very engrossing. In addition to that, I think just talking a little bit about Shakun, and we've all spoken much about him, but I can't stop. I think if you look at his prowess as a director, he's done such a phenomenal job with relationship dramas in the past, and he continues to outdo himself even with this movie. Whether be it stories like Kapoor and Sons or Ek Mein Aur Ek Tu. We see how he unpacks and unfolds, each layer of these characters in a way you haven't seen them before. So again, Shakun is another big reason. I think in addition to the excellent direction, the performances have been stellar, extraordinary, and ones that we've not seen before. And I'm not saying this because Prime Video is partnering and launching this film worldwide, but I genuinely believe that our audiences worldwide are going to appreciate these performances for being real, rooted, honest, and something I can promise you we've never seen before. And last but not the least, just like this film, our relationship and partnership with Dharma remains quite gehri, just like the film. And we would continue to see a lot of other, films with Dharma. And, we've had a big hit in the past, Shersha, and I know the way the team has put this project together, we're looking at another massive, massive global success. So again, I can't stop talking about why we should be doing the film. So I think I should stop now.
Thank you so much. And you should not stop the content that you provide us. Thank you for always giving us the engrossing, gripping, and entertaining content. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, next question's coming in for Deepika. And the question's coming in from Sanjana from Pink Villa. Deepika, the question is, you've done unconventional romantic movies before. How would you say Alicia is different from Tara, Veronica, or even a Piku?
again, I think it's very difficult to kind of, all I can say is that it's something I haven't done before. And like you just said, I have done films and a lot of characters that are either, love stories or relationship dramas. I think the difference with this one is probably, Shakun, you want to help me here?
Well, I mean, how do I help? I haven't. All I can say is, this is my first time with Deepika. I don't know from her before, but the hunger she had on this one, and I mean, I'm assuming her process is the same. She just surprised me. It felt like I was working with somebody who was just doing her first or second film. For me, what I was trying to explore with Deepika on this one, which was different, I think, was just her own experiences, what she can bring to the film. And I think we spoke a lot about her her anxiety, her life. How can we make that a part of the story? Her relationship, her experience in different relationships. So for me, I think it was just trying to draw as much of her real self into the character. And I think Veronica, I think is mostly impulsive.
Yeah. I think I don't. I want to say bold, but I also don't want to say bold, because the way we've understood bold in our films and in the characters that we've seen, I'd say raw. Raw is probably more, maybe I think for me, this character is a lot more raw and a lot more real than some of the other characters that I've played, just emotionally, just completely stripped, completely naked in that sense, completely vulnerable. And I think to be able to do that on screen, it had to come from a very, very deep place. So yes, it's not to say that I haven't. It's not to say that I haven't experienced that before, but I think to this extent, where I had to really dig deep and visit places that aren't really the most pleasant, and not really the most pleasant experiences from my own life. As well as dealing with mental health issues. So I think all of that put together, I think it just came from a very, very deep place. And I think what this character needed really was a lot of to be completely raw and naked and vulnerable.
I also think letting go of the fear of judgment. I think you cannot step into these shoes unless you are so self-assured. I think actors mostly are so conscious of their image that it's always scary to step into the shoes of characters that are great. I think with Deepika, I've not even once had, I've never had to kind of make her feel reassured about those things. I think she's so self-assured that you could tell her, this is what I feel about this character, and she can step into that with no fear and saying, I understand it. And all she wants to know is like find the root of that behavior, and then she's all there. So for me, it's just been amazing to watch her at this stage in her career, still trying to go out there with no fear and trying to do characters that would be so challenging otherwise. So I can't see this film without her. I can't see this film with anybody else. And I think over the last 2 years, I've forgotten that this film wouldn't even be half of what it is if it wasn't for her. So it's I'm just so thankful and happy that we did it together.
No, I have to say that I know this is a sort of like a longish answer, but I'd say that this I don't think that'd be possible without the comfort that he's given me and given all of us. You feel extremely safe and you feel secure. You feel like you're working in an extremely safe and secure environment, because it's not easy. Intimacy is not easy. It's not something that it's not something we've ever experienced or explored in Indian cinema before in the way that we have in this film. So to go down that route of intimacy, of vulnerability, is only possible when you know that the director is not doing it to scintillate, and he's not doing it for the eyeballs. He's doing it because that's just where the characters are coming from through their journey and through their experiences. And that's only possible when you feel safe and secure in the environment that you're working in.
Deepika, thank you so much. And as you said, raw and vulnerable, who better than you to justify it? It has to be Deepika. Thank you. Next question coming in for Apurva. Apurva, the question's from Pooja from Good Times. Apurva, good to see you again. I request you to unmute yourself, please. Thank you.
Yes, hi, thank you, yes.
Apurva, the question is, this is your second collaboration with Amazon Prime Video. How has the experience been, and does that factor into your decision to go ahead with a digital premiere for the movie?
So, I have to say that digitization has really changed the way content is now consumed across the globe. And, we have streaming platforms that are essentially giving audiences the convenience to consume content where they want it, when they want it, and how they want it. For us as creators, I think two things are important. One is essentially that the content reaches as many people across the globe as it can, and the content is marketed effectively. I think these are the two big challenges that any producer or any creator would want to be addressed, to put out his content to the globe. And I think for us, we've done Shersha, which was a direct to digital film with Amazon, and we had an incredible experience. The film was really well positioned, extremely well marketed, and extremely well put out for audiences to consume. And I think that has given us a lot of strength and comfort. And I think we've been working with Amazon for many years, and there is what we really appreciate is their ability to understand us as creators and allow us to kind of put in our experiences, in spite of the fact that they probably have more experience on distribution and marketing, purely because of the volume of work they handle. But they're collaborative, and it really brings out the best for the product. And I think for us, we're really hoping that we go 2 steps further with Gehraiyaan than we did with Shersha. And we're confident because the film has so much to offer, and we're quite sure that it's going to be a huge blockbuster on Amazon.
Definitely, because the trailer looks promising. So wishing you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next question is for Shakun, and it is coming in from Avinash from Hindustan Times, I'm guessing, from Hindustan. And the question is, इस फिल्म के क्रेडिट्स में आपने एक इंटिमेसी डायरेक्टर को क्रेडिट दिया है, क्या वजह है उसके पीछे?
जी, डार गई, जो मेरी बहुत ही अच्छी दोस्त हैं. I think just like choreography, action, intimacy is today a very specialized place, and you have to create an environment जहाँ पे actors can feel comfortable, जहाँ पे आप सब चीजें सोच चुके हैं, आप उतना ही प्रेप कर चुके हैं जितना आप एक गाने के लिए करते हैं या आप एक एक्शन सीक्वेंस के लिए करते हैं. तो मैं इन चीजों के बारे में पढ़ रहा था. ये अमेरिका और वेस्ट में ये इनका एक प्रोसीजर बन चुका है, एंड आई रियली थॉट कि हम लोग अगर शुरुआत करना चाहते हैं इस पिक्चर की एक नई मोड़ से, एक नई तरफ लेके जाना चाहते हैं, तो हमें वो अपनानी चाहिए जो चीजें हो रही हैं बाकी देशों में भी. तो मेरी कोशिश वही थी कि मैं उन चीजों को ला पाऊं, एक अच्छा सा अपने एक्टर्स के लिए, अपने क्रू के लिए एक अच्छा सिस्टम डिजाइन कर पाऊं जहाँ पे सब लोग कंफर्टेबल हो. एंड आई थिंक इट हैज बीन सो हेल्पफुल. और मेरी जो दोस्त हैं डार गई, उन्होंने पहले 2-3 म्यूजिक वीडियोस बनाई हैं जिसमें इंटिमेसी का उन्होंने, और इस पूरी पिक्चर में जो भी हमने क्रू, जब भी कैमरा में जो हमने चूज किया, कौशल शाह, मेरा एक हमेशा से था कि उनका एक आउटलुक जो है इंटिमेसी की तरफ, वो बहुत जरूरी था मेरे को समझना. बिकॉज जिस तरह दीपिका ने कहा, हम नहीं चाहते थे कि कुछ शॉक वैल्यू के लिए हम ये करें. हम चाहते थे कि इंडियन पिक्चर में अगर हम इंटिमेसी ला रहे हैं और तो हम उसको एक नई तरफ ले जाएं, और उसके लिए एक नई टीम की जरूरत थी, एक नई अंडरस्टैंडिंग की जरूरत थी, जो मुझे लगा मैं, डार, सब एक्टर्स, कैमरामैन, हम लोग एक यूनिट बन गए थे. और हम इंटिमेसी को एक कहानी की तरह ट्रीट कर रहे हैं, और हम इंटिमेसी को इसी तरह से देखना चाहते हैं जिस तरह से कैरेक्टर देखना चाहेंगे. तो उसके लिए जो प्रेप थी, उसके लिए जो डिटेलिंग की जरूरत थी, उसके लिए बहुत जरूरी था कि इंटीमेसी डायरेक्टर हो, और डार ने पिक्चर में बहुत बहुत बड़ा contribution दिया है. तो it was important that we give her the same respect that we give to all our HODs.
वर्चुअल मंच पर मैं मौका लेना चाहूंगा to each and every individual who's been instrumental in the making of Gehraiyaan, and a big shout out to all of you. Well, thank you, Shakun. Thank you. And we've got time
Thanks a
for
lot.
one last question, and it's coming in for Ajit. It's from Uday from News X. Hi, Ajit. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. Go ahead.
Question from Uday says, what convinced you to come on board this film as a producer?
I think, first of all, we have a larger relationship with Dharma, where they are integral part of what we're trying to achieve at Viacom 18 Studios. But more than that, as I said, the philosophy that we look for when we choose subjects at Viacom 18 or a tipping point is are we redefining the craft in any which way? Is there a breaking of mold? Is there a new direction that we are going in? Is there something unconventional? That's the sort of overarching attempt, and that is actually reflected in a number of films that we have done. And I think in that sense, as I said already, Gehraiyaan appealed to me because of the gray. Because I think Deepika alluded to it, Shakun also, there is no easy reference. अगर आप आज पूछें कि इस तरह की और कौन सी फिल्म आई है, it's hard to say this is, it is in this space. It is hard to define what space is this by giving a reference of an Indian movie, and that itself is a very strong reason. I think the maturity. I think for long, as I said, Indian audiences have been, with the kind of cinema that we serve. We've been drinking up on rasna and ruafza. I think it's time that we also look at some whiskeys and wines. And I think this is a film which makes that shift, makes that journey, and has that maturity. And that's the reason I was very convinced when I onboarded this ship, and I'm glad that I did it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Would like to thank everybody. Shukriya dosto, and thank you to everyone, to Karan, Shakun, Manish, Apurv, Ajit, Dhairya, Ananya, Siddhant, and Deepika. Thank you for helping us dive into the world of Gehraiyaan. Thank you so much. Wishing you all the best for this experience. And to all our friends from the media, thank you so much हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए, and wishing once again everybody all the best for Gehraiyaan. देखना मत भूलिएगा Amazon original movie Gehraiyaan 11 फरवरी से Amazon Prime Video पर. Well, this is your host Sachin Kumar signing off, and also humming always nowadays Tu marz hai dawa bhi. Until we meet again, stay safe, stay healthy, and do wear that mask whenever you step out. Thank you.
Thank you, Sachin.
Thank you.
तू मर्ज है दवा भी